Without Stephen Curry, the Golden State Warriors have a real challenge on their hands. Sure, Jordan Poole, Draymond Green, and Klay Thompson are still there, but experts are saying the team is in for a super tough time. On NBA Inside, Kendrick Perkins has suggested amid the chaos for the Dibs that Curry will probably be plagued by enormous career threats once his post-recovery return to the Warriors squad happens. Join us as we explore the threats facing Stephen Curry and also see if the Warriors can survive without him. Stay with us. First up, the injury. During the Indiana Pacers game on the 15th of December, Stephen Curry got an injury to his left shoulder. It happened in the latter half of the third quarter. Consequent diagnoses say he has a left shoulder subluxation. This will, in all likelihood, sideline him for more than a month. After losing Curry, the Warriors are treading dark waters. For more than 10 years, they've been heavily dependent on the shooting skills of the four-time NBA champion. On ESPN recently, Kendrick Perkins and NBA analyst Stephen A. Smith had a debate about the fate of the Golden State Warriors and Curry's injury concerns. Smith was hopeful about the Warriors roster and claimed the team was still in with a chance regardless of Curry's absence. Perkins, however, believes the Golden State is finished. While busy with his critical take on the Warriors and their chances, Perkins also said that chances are Curry will face difficulty with his shoulder after the recovery period. You'll remember Perkins underwent shoulder surgery himself, and he indicated that such a surgery is lingering and could be career-ending. He said it could happen again at any time during the season and will then come back to haunt Curry, adding that he was speaking from personal experience. Adamant that this may well be the case with Curry, he emphasized a possible threat to the man's career and dreams of more championships. There could be three surefire ways the Warriors could survive without Curry. Stay with us, we'll be exploring those in a moment. Next, Kendrick Perkins gets acerbic about the Warriors' chances. Kendrick's claims about the Golden State Warriors only got bolder. He said he holds out about as much hope for the Warriors championship win as he does for breakfast with Barack Obama and his family. And he also said that the Memphis Grizzlies and the Los Angeles Clippers are in much better shape than the Warriors in this season's Western Conference. Perkins also had a mouthful to say about the bench strength and defensive abilities of the Dubs. He said that Steve Kerr, the coach, had no trust in Jonathan Kuminga's basketball IQ and that Moses Moody was underperforming badly. Perkins, the former Celtics center, also pointed out the absence of James Wiseman from the bench. His hope for a Warriors win has clearly evaporated, but the Warriors did muster a win against the Toronto Raptors, and this without Curry. The score in that game was 126-110. Now it remains to be seen if the Warriors and Curry can actually prove Perkins wrong. Now there are three possible ways for the Warriors to survive without Curry. Up to now, the Warriors have sidestepped the worst case scenario, but the news that Curry will be out with his injury for a month or more is certainly a piece of bad news. He has carried the Warriors through a 14-15 season. Currently number 10 in the conference, the team simply can't afford to slip any further in the standings while waiting for him to recover. So if they want to survive, they have to start with proper playtime for Moses Moody. He has struggled to hold his place in the rotation and to make shots, and he's been vocal about both. Anthony Lamb doesn't have the offensive upside Moody has, and Moody has way more potential to come to the Warriors' rescue as they progress deeper into the playoffs. After Curry left the court injured, Moody played some of his best ball of the season. He finished with 13 points and 3 assists, shooting 5 of 6 from the field and 2 of 3 from the arc in 23 minutes. If the coach lets him off the bench for a few extended runs and allows him to play through some mistakes and make more shots, it may pay dividends when Curry makes a return. It could also be all about helping Jordan Poole shine. That is coming up shortly, don't go away. Also, the Warriors could consider the big trade. James Wiseman remains a huge question, both in terms of his present and his future. In the early minutes this season, he rebounded and scored, but his defensive game was a never-ending struggle where the Warriors were in a perpetual hammering by opponents whenever he was on the floor. He's been getting reps in the G League, but there's little chance he will change the fortunes on the court, at least not in the current season. That said, he still has some value as a long-term piece. There are many more options available because players who signed off-season contracts are eligible to be traded. So the Warriors should at the very least be considering what they could get as a trade for Wiseman. Players like Doug McDermott, Jakob Poeltl, Kelly Oubre Jr., Kyle Kuzma, and Nicolas Batum may be available in a trade where Wiseman is the centerpiece, in theory at least. If any of those players join the Warriors, it may help to calm the waters of Curry's absence, and they could be more useful in a playoff run than Wiseman could be at the moment. It is patching a present-day leak by mortgaging a huge part of their future, but it remains a possibility the Warriors need to at least consider over the next couple of weeks. Then they could also help Jordan Poole to shine. Poole's scoring numbers are lower than they were last season, but inside the arc he's been much more comfortable making plays for other players. The huge difference here is the drop in his three-point percentage. This is largely because he's been completely abysmal on pull-up threes at 28.4% on 3.3 tries per game. In the absence of Steph and Curry, the team needs to create opportunities for Poole in his offensive drives, but this has to happen inside their structure and flow. It has to fill some of the off and on ball responsibilities Curry carried, but not all of them. Poole shouldn't be made to try to be Curry. Instead, the team needs to make sure the load for playmaking is shared as widely as possible. Draymond Green, Andrew Wiggins, and Klay Thompson should take on more responsibility because that will put Poole in a position to be a proper offensive endpoint. If he is allowed to do this, he can use his attacking gifts after the defense has shifted. If he is pushed to simply go out there and create offense all on his own, the team will end up in a deeper hole than they currently are when Curry returns. But is there a real way forward without Curry? We'll bring you that shortly. Keep watching, but it's been a season-long struggle for the Warriors. The Warriors look depleted when they're on the court, and injuries to their stars, Andrew Wiggins and Stephen Curry, have simply added to the pain they're experiencing. While they're struggling to regroup, Draymond Green had a conversation with ESPN about their struggles. The team began a 6-game road trip on the 14th of December. During this excursion, they suffered 5 losses and 1 win, but worst of all, Stephen Curry was lost with a shoulder injury. Green says the team is in a seriously rough patch. It's not only on the hardwood, but they're in mental doldrums too. And he says it is this mental struggle that has been the biggest cause of their weak performance. He does, however, still believe that they have managed to maintain a positive spirit. Speaking about being on the road, he said you can make of it what you want, but the whole thing is mental. The Warriors team is struggling mentally. When one enters murky times, Green says the entire team struggles, and the entire world seems on the verge of falling apart. Individuals tend to use negative energy to shape their personalities and the events surrounding them. He claims it is both natural and human, and this is exactly what is happening to the Warriors at the moment, but he has a solution to the problem. He says the only way is to make them mentally tough. Fans had to say on their Twitter too, and that's coming up. Keep watching until the end of the video. Then, the way forward without Curry. Green, the 4-time All-Star, also admitted the team knows the formula for winning games very well. However, going over the winning blueprint and reviewing past games will help them nothing now. Hard work and a slow and continuous process is the only remedy. Positive outcomes have to be the goal, and the positive feelings those engender will boost the team's confidence. Tough situations aren't foreign territory for the Golden State Warriors. They've seen them before, but they've always found a way to work around them and return to winning form. Even without their superstar in the game, the team as it stands, again with Kevin Looney, Draymond Green, Klay Thompson, and Jordan Poole, can be hugely destructive on the night. But right now, the team seems scattered. Regrouping and returning to championship-style play is a faint hope. The Memphis Grizzlies game was one of the Christmas Day highlights. Sure, the Warriors were struggling with their form, especially in Curry's absence, but they did manage to sweep the Grizzlies away by 14 points. Ja Morant, the Grizzlies star, played well, but it wasn't nearly enough to make a dent in the loss. Finally, the post-game tweets tell the fans' stories. Kendrick Perkins, the former Celtics star, took a jibe at Dillon Brooks. He said Brooks' performance was uniquely unimpressive and tweeted that Brooks came to a gunfight with a spoon. The Warriors reminded the Grizzlies it was time for them to hibernate, and he finished off by saying, "If the Warriors play as they did, they are the undisputed #1 NBA NBA team. Another fan said it seems Memphis thought they could show up and secure a win without a fight back from GS. The Warriors' mentality and their strength in numbers continue to push them to wins over their real competition. And finally, a serious fan said the Grizzlies asked for smoke and they got sent up the chimney. Regardless of the Curry injury and all the negative soothsaying about the Warriors, they are still a team with all the potential in the world to be champions. It's just a question of wait and see. And with that, we end this video, my friends. Remember to hit the subscribe, like, and follow. Let us know in the comments what you think, and keep watching for our next video. Thanks for watching. We'll see you in the next one.